Well, happy Resurrection Day. Happy Rebirth Day. Those of you online, welcome to A Course in Miracles. Welcome to A Course in Miracles. Welcome to A Course in Miracles. I'm Earl Purdy, and I want to welcome you here in person and welcome you here on Facebook Live. And let you know that it's a tremendous honor and blessing to be here with you today. You know, is it a tremendous honor and blessing for you to be here with the people you're here with today? Yeah. It's some more people that's desperate for happiness just like you. And peace and joy and all of the other good stuff that we want to have. My mighty companions on Facebook Live, thank you for tuning in on this day of rebirth. And as a matter of fact, we're going to be doing a section that's called The Time of Rebirth. The time of rebirth, the time of rebirth. It's in the text, and it's on page 324 in the text. It's called The Time of what? Rebirth. The time of rebirth. And I am in the process of recognizing that I've been reborn. And are you in the process of recognizing a rebirth within yourself? Are you ready for a happier, more peaceful experience of this experience? Yes. I want to remind you that according to mystical metaphysical teaching, that we actually are here because we chose to be. Yeah. That we're actually in the physical plane because at some level that is what our soul chose to experience. I don't know, we had been drunk at a party or something the night before, or what was it, but for some reason we said, I'd like to know what it would be like to think I'm separate from God. I'd like to see what it would feel like to think that I'm separate from others around me. I wonder what it would be like to temporarily have a little amnesia about my oneness with everything and everyone. So I want to ask you, how's that working out for you? How is forgetting our unlimited power and ability? I'm not saying that you don't have some good days, you know, and that you don't have some good times, but I'd like to ask you whether or not that good time that you are having in your perception is really coming from an internal sense of completion and joy, or it's coming from a script that you have for the day going the way that you think you want it to go. Most people, when they say they're happy, do you know that that's what they're basically saying? The script that I wrote for myself for this day is pretty much going the way that I decided I would like for it to go. And maybe we need to be aware that that's not true happiness. That's not true happiness. If my happiness can be affected by anything around me, anything outside of me, then I haven't really gotten to the place that the Course in Miracles is trying to take us to. So I want to have a happiness that could be unaffected by anything and everything external to myself. Wouldn't you? Yes. So in order to do that, we're going to need to be reborn. In order to be reborn, we'll need to take a particular attitude to allow ourselves to receive the information that we're about to receive. Would you like to be able to hear what the Course in Miracles is about to tell us? Okay, so then you have to keep in mind that you need not believe the ideas, you need not accept the ideas. You need not even welcome the ideas. Like I've joked about in the past, when I was flying back from England, I was thinking about how, you know, the flight attendants were giving us all the instructions, and everybody was kind of like, you know, doing everything but paying attention. Sometimes that's the way I feel when I'm up here giving these instructions, the exact same way. It's like, you don't have to believe it to take this flight safely. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to welcome it. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. And did I say some of the ideas you may actively resist? Some of the ideas you will find hard to believe. And to believe means to accept. So some of these ideas I will find hard to accept. And others may seem to be really, really startling. And the most important instruction of all is you are not asked to judge and analyze the ideas at all. Using the ideas will give the ideas meaning and will show you that the ideas are true. Using it. Okay? The Course in Miracles is a course in correct perception or corrected perception. Perception is an interpretation and a learning. So what the course is a course in new interpretations. It's a course in new interpretations. It's saying if you will interpret your experience the way that I'm telling you to interpret your experience, you will have more peace. I'll say it again. If you will use the interpretations that the Course in Miracles gives you to use in any situation, the result will be more peace. How successful would a person be at using an interpretation that they don't remember? So that's why my emphasis in my Course in Miracles classes, after almost 40 years, the emphasis is on repetition and remembering, not on analyzing and convincing. So I don't use my class to convince anybody of anything. And I don't use my class to analyze these ideas. What I want to do is be such a clear conduit for the ideas that a person can hear the ideas and therefore have an idea of what it's talking about and then remember the interpretation that he's given us to use so that we'll have more peace. Now, what happens when I have more peace? When I have more peace, I can hear the voice of the Holy Spirit. I can hear the still small voice within. I can hear my inner guidance, but I can't hear it if I'm in conflict and fear. I can't hear my guidance if I'm afraid. I can't hear my guidance if I'm angry. I can't hear my guidance if I am sick. I can't hear my guidance if I'm afraid of lack. So that's why peace of mind is more important than anything else. Because when you have peace of mind, you will hear the instructions you're being given. And the Course says we're being given instructions 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that we could use for our peace. Okay, so the time of rebirth on page 324 in the text. I'm going to go through the paragraph and then we're going to see, well, what is the message that, in the interpretation that love is trying to give us? Because the Course is only talking about two things that I bet some of you heard me say a few times. What? Love or fear. Right? Oneness or separation. So it says, it is in your power. Oh, whose power is in your power? When? In time. Where are you? In time. So it's in your power in time to delay the perfect union of the Father and the Son, which is the same as saying it's in your power in time to delay the perfect union between you and the love that created you. So I have the power to delay the connection that I have to God. It's in the connection that I am aware of, the connection that I have to love. I can do what? Delay it. Didn't say I could get rid of it. It said I can delay it. So you can delay your happiness in time. You can delay your happiness. You can delay your happiness in time. But it says, for in this world, the attraction of guilt does stand between you and your Creator. So what is blocking our awareness of our connection with Source? Guilt. And many people say, well, I don't feel any guilt. You know, I know, but if you would just really recognize that if you're feeling guilt at any level, then you don't feel 100% peace all the time. So if you're not feeling 100% peace all the time, the Course in Miracles is saying that you have guilt, and the guilt is coming from telling a lie all the time. And what is the lie that the Course says we are telling ourselves? It says the lie that we're telling ourselves is that we are alone and that we're separate from love and that we're separate from God. So the lie isn't necessarily what you're telling somebody about what you really think about the clothes they wear. The lie is every time I say I'm alone, on my own, having to deal with anything. That's the lie. And it says guilt comes from that lie because a part of us knows it's not true. Then it says neither time nor season means anything in eternity. So here it is love's function, the Holy Spirit's function to use two things. What? Time and season. Both. So love, the Holy Spirit is going to use time, which is where we're in, and season, which is where we are right now. So are we in the springtime? Yes. So Holy Spirit is going to use springtime. What time is it? It's hammer time. No, it's what time is it?
It's 109.
It's okay. So at 109 in springtime, the Holy Spirit can use this time right now to do what? It can use this time not the way the ego uses this time, not the way your fear uses this time, not the way guilt, anger, upset, worry, or anxiety in the mind uses time. It can be used the way that love wants us to use time. I'm going to give you one of the easiest definitions of the ego that you could have. The easiest definition of the ego is it's the voice inside your head. Okay? It's the voice inside your head. It's the voice that you made up, that you are listening to, that is describing your experience to you moment to moment. Do you have a voice like that?
Of course.
Is that voice telling you something right now?
No.
Right. If it is telling you something right now, it probably has something to do with the past or the future, because that's where the false self lives. So another term for the ego is false self. So false self and voice inside your head. That's the ego. It's the part of me that believes it is separate. It's the part of me that believes it is guilty. It's the part of me that I identify with the most. I identify with the part of me that thinks I'm separate from you the most. I identify with the part of me that thinks it's separate from you the most. Do you do the same thing if you're willing to be out of denial?
Yes.
Okay. And the reason why I say that is because if I really saw you as me, then I would just as much want to make sure you ate tonight as if I ate tonight. I just as much want to make sure you had a roof over your head as I do. I'd be thinking about you as much as I think about me, and I don't. And you don't either. If you told me you did, I wouldn't believe you. I would just believe you were totally in denial and lying to me, because I don't remember the last time you called me to check up and make sure I was okay. So it's too easy. It's too easy to prove when we're in denial. It's so easy to prove it, but I know it feels good to think that I really care about you as much as I do about myself. It feels great to say, "Oh, I love all of you so much." I want to. I desire to. I want to get rid of every block that keeps me from knowing you as myself and loving you as myself. If I already knew how to do that, I wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have any need for the earthly experience. So what we're doing is getting to the point that we can let go of all sense of separation, all sense of guilt, so that we can enjoy and explore and experience and extend love here in this physical experience, because you won't know love until you're 100% present in your body in innocence. Not 100% out of your body, 100% present in your body, allowing yourself to experience every sensory experience that's here in total love and total joy. It is impossible not to have love come forward in you when you give something or someone your full 100% attention. If you ever gave anybody your full attention, you loved them. If you ever gave anybody 100% of your attention without thinking about how they are going to affect you, or what might happen next, or what my agenda might be, like right now, instead of fully being present with what I'm saying, it would be the part of you that was analyzing what I'm saying or wondering what I'm saying next. It would be the part of you that's not fully present, giving attention. But if you gave me 100% of your attention, you would feel love rush forward from you to me, because that happens. That's a universal law. What I give full attention to is love. That is joining. That is connection. So if you want to love somebody, just be with them. Be with them 100%. Don't be with them in terms of what you're going to get, what your agenda is, what you'd like to have happen. But just be with them. Be with me. Be with each other. And if you find yourself being distracted or moving out of the moment, all you got to do is pay attention to how your butt feel in the chair. the smells around you, the sounds around you, the hum that's coming from the PA system. Whatever is going on, if you would allow yourself to just get present with your physical experience in this moment, it would bring you back to center and it would bring you back to love. Nothing is as complicated as the false self makes it. Nothing is. And so the Course in Miracles then says, this is a season when you would celebrate my birth into the world. That could be seen as love's birth into the world. That could be seen as your real self birth into the world. That could be seen as the birth of the Christ, which is the real self that you are in the world. But the Course in Miracles is saying to us, yet you don't know how to do it. I want to celebrate the birth of love, the birth of truth, the birth of the Christ, the birth of my spiritual self. He says, but you don't know how to do it. And it says, you don't know how to do it, so you need to let the Holy Spirit teach you. What do you need to do? I need to let love teach me. I need to let my inner guide teach me. All these are alternative definitions of the Holy Spirit. I need to let my guide teach me. I need to let my inner teacher teach me what? How to celebrate the birth of love into my world. The birth of spirit into my world. So what am I supposed to be using? Let me see if I can remember this. Okay, it's in my power and time to lay my sense of oneness with my Creator. I got the Holy Spirit that will use time and season to teach me how to do this. So I have to let the part of me that knows how to celebrate the birth of myself in love and Christ and truth into the world. I need to let it teach me. So I am going to ask today, in this time of rebirth, that I let the part of me and the part of you that loves us to teach us how to celebrate our birth into the birth of our real self, not the birth of the phony self, the birth of the real self. The phony self is the self with the Social Security number. The phony self is the self that's worried about his bills. The phony self is the self that thinks that it needs someone else in a special relationship to validate them in order to know that they're loved. The phony self is the one that thinks that money, fame, influence, being liked, knowing the right people, that these are the things that's taking care of it. The phony self is the one that thinks it's born and that it grows old and dies. That's not your true self. That's the false self. And we're in a world where people believe in their false selves. And some of us have awakened to the fact that that's not who we are. Some people are not awakened to that, and they don't need to be yet. It's not their time to be aware of that yet. And they're learning the lessons they need to learn in their asleepness to their true identity. So there are some people that need to be in their ego. They need to be in their separated self. They need to be exactly where they are, doing exactly what they're doing, exactly the way they're doing it for their spiritual growth. So that took care of all our friends, relatives, and family. All right? Everybody ought to be clear with them now. But there are some people that have reached a stage in their spiritual evolution that they're ready now to recognize who they truly are beyond the fearful separate self. Those people are like you. They want to hear another way of looking at things. This happened because it was time for it to happen for you. Okay? And that's good news. That's really good news. And then the Course in Miracles says, let the Holy Spirit teach you. Let me celebrate your birth through the Holy Spirit. So you can say it this way. Let me celebrate your birth through the Holy Spirit. You can say that to me. Let me celebrate your birth, Earl, through the Holy Spirit. Let me celebrate you. Let me celebrate that you were born. Let me celebrate the birth of your loving self, your real self. So the next time you're ready to get together with somebody, it would be great to say, let's get together and celebrate the birth of our true selves with each other. Let me celebrate the birth of the love in you, the peace in you, the joy in you, the oneness in you, the beauty in you. Let's get together and celebrate that. Let's get together and celebrate that and go to the Hofbrau and then listen to some music and jam. You know, sometimes the most spiritual experiences I've ever experienced have been in clubs. I'll see more people interrelating and smiling and dancing and celebrating than most any spiritual gathering I go to. Most spiritual gatherings, it's really dead. Okay, it's sad, but it's the truth. It's like people get into that programming that they got as children, usually around church and spiritual things, and then they think that being spiritual means be dead. You know, and you can say anything. You can be as outrageous as you want to around me, because true spirituality is a sense of freedom to be who you are. then you'll be interesting to me. You're boring to me if you're acting out the script and the program that the world has given you. You'll be interesting to me if you let me see you, because you are a totally unique expression of God. You are God expressing God as you. I'll say it again. You are God expressing God as you. That which created you said, wow, I wonder what it'd be like to be a cool chocolate dude named Earl. So that's what's God. So now you see God being the chocolate dude. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at you, I'm looking at God. I'm looking at this mic, I'm looking at God. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. Love is in everything I see because love is in my mind. The only gift I can accept from you is the gift I gave to you. The only gift I can accept of you is the gift I gave you. If I give you love, then I'll accept love from you. Listen to that. The only gift I can accept from you is the gift I gave you. So if I'm giving people love and joy and peace, I kind of expect that to come back to me, and I would be okay about receiving it because I have given it. If I'm not giving it, then when someone gives it to me, I'll be suspicious of it or not be able to receive it. Listen to what I'm saying. If you're a person that's not giving love, you're going to be a lousy receiver of it, because you can only accept what you've given. So if you're giving people hell and you're giving people a hard time, then you'll accept people giving you hell and giving you a hard time, and you'll be wondering, why am I sticking in this situation or relationship or circumstance and I can't get away from it? Well, it's because you're accepting what you yourself have given or are giving. I can only accept what it says. I can accept of you. The only gift I can accept of you is the gift I gave to you. So I can accept your love because I really want to give you love. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes. Okay. So release me as I choose your own release. See, even though this course is claiming to be a channel book, Jesus communicating to a lady named Helen Shugman, sharing corrections of the teachings and giving us a totally loving perception of what he taught, the course says it's not so important that you believe that or not. What's important is that you're willing to use the principles and see how the principles work out, right? So you could say, so whatever Jesus says in the course is what he's doing, is actually what I'm supposed to be doing too. It's an example teaching. So that's why when you read it, it says the only gift I can accept of you is the gift I gave to you. I can claim that. The only gift I can accept of you is the gift I gave to you. Then the next line says, release me as I choose your own release. I can say that. Release me because I'm choosing your release. So stop limiting me since I'm trying not to limit you. Release me to give you the love you deserve. Free me so I can express who I am as the loving being that I am. Release me. Like, some people you dated. They beg you to release them. And you beg them to release you. Right? So the truth is, I choose your release, so release me. The time of Christ, Christ is love. We celebrate how? Together. So I can't experience the time of Christ alone. I can only experience the time of Christ in joining in love. So unless we join in love, which has nothing to do with what we think joining in love means. The funniest thing I ever hear people say, and I've said this many times, is let's make love. You cannot make love. You cannot make love. You can't make love with anybody. Nothing real requires you to do anything with the body in order to experience it, because that's too limiting a way to join. If joining called for us to join in the body, we would never all pull it off. Think about it just for a minute. Love must not be about all of us being able to join with each other in the body, even though a physical expression is one way you could allow love to be expressed through you. But it is not by any means required for me to love you. As a matter of fact, the reason why people don't want to love anybody is because there's too many doggone sacrifices and responsibilities that we attach to love, right? I love you, now I'm responsible for you, now I got to make you happy, now you're watching me every minute, I'm watching you every minute, I'm trying to make sure that you, come on, who would want to do that? So Of course, we can only love one person usually because that's a full-time job. You know, I'm talking to people who they say they're in 4 or 5 different special relationships. I wonder if they are masochistic. Instead of, are they free to have multiple relationships? Why would you want multiple relationships at an ego level? I can see you having multiple relationships at a love level because I'm having a multiple relationship with you at a love level. If I'm freeing you, because if I'm loving you, I'm not trying to get you to be anything other than who you are. I'm not trying to change you. You're not trying to change me. So essentially, we're the way we already are, but in peace. So loving you would be easy. It only gets hard when you expect me to act out your script. Now loving you is hard. Wow, could it be that simple? Yes, yes, but only a whole person would like what I'm saying. Only a complete being or who's headed toward completeness would like what I'm saying. If you're insecure and you need constant reassurance, then what I'm saying does not really ring your bell right now. Okay? The more insecure you are, the less the truth appeals. Okay? And the more you love yourself, the less you're interested in a relationship that's a burden. Right? So the Course in Miracles says, the time of Christ, what does that mean? We celebrate together. Why? Because the time of love doesn't mean anything if we're separate. What good is it loving you if we don't feel any kind of connection with each other? So, paragraph 1, what did paragraph 1 tell us? I can delay the union of my oneness with my Creator in time. Love is going to use time to celebrate me. Love is saying, would y'all please release me so I can release you. Let's celebrate together. Easter, let's celebrate together. Let's celebrate together. Let's free each other together. That's the first paragraph. Any comments, any questions, any ahas about anything that I have shared from this paragraph? Yes, my brother.
I love the new definition of love, of giving attention, because most of my fear around what I quote unquote call love is all the stories and scripts that I've been taught about. This is what love is. And so having a new awareness and go, oh, I can love you. I can love people by just giving attention and being present.
That would be the people in my life who called me the best conversationalist that they've ever talked to were the people who never asked me anything and I never said anything. Because they were so shocked that I was willing to be present. Because it's so rare that anybody really feels like they have 100% of anybody's attention. That they'll say you are a great person to talk to because they, you know why? Because they really, I'm not saying you're being quiet, but you're really unpresent. I'm just saying you're really there. You're really present. And so that's what we hear. If your attention is on somebody, they're going to feel the love. They're going to feel the love. I call special relationships special attention relationships. I call special relationships personally famous relationships. What I mean is, I'm going to get some fame from you. You know, everybody's not treating me special. You are. And that's your purpose as my partner, to make me feel more special than anybody else. That's your job. And then in return, if it's a romantic relationship, you may get some good and not so good sex. But that depends on how many dysfunctions you got based on what you went through as a child to the time that you grew up, which meant probably it ain't fair. Okay. Bree. You're really not giving them enough return for their investment.
Something you said struck me. In order to show love is to allow the other person to express love to you.
Thank
So
you.
Receiving.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Receiving completes the giving. I love how the Course in Miracles says over and over again, God is incomplete in God's giving unless you are willing to receive. So that which wants to give to us actually needs us to receive it to complete the transaction. So if the universe wants to give you all kinds of blessings and you're refusing to allow it, you're creating an incomplete transaction. You know, so we have to allow ourselves to receive. But then what did it tell us? Well, Earl, you're not going to let yourself receive unless you start to give, because you can only accept what you're giving. So even though Spirit might be trying to give you everything, if you don't ever give anything, then you won't be able to receive all the blessings that are yours. But here's the good news. The blessings will be there when you are ready to receive them, because they're real blessings, and real blessings are eternal. So therefore, whenever you decide to receive it, it's there. But why use time to delay your receiving? It's like somebody said, now you could have, let's say, for an example, you could have $2 million today. And then you go, well, no, I'm not going to accept it until 6 months from now. Okay, it'll be waiting for you 6 months from now. But that 6 months, you didn't have it. That wasn't necessary. But you still can never lose. So whenever you're ready for it, love is ready for you. But love will never force itself on you. Love waits on welcome, not on time. And that's the way. And that's the way I. That's why I try to be with people. I'm looking for welcome. I'm looking for what, because love will never force itself on you. Fear always will. Insecurity always will. Anybody else before I go to the next paragraph? Is that pretty clear? Yes. Did y'all, could you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Why? Because I can't forget what I'm always reminding somebody else about. And that's why I teach. Because I'm going to hear this every single time I say it. I'm going to hear it, which is great. All right, let's see here. Okay. Okay, so the holy instant is the loving instant, is the time of Christ. So the loving instant is the time of love. The Christ is your real self, your loving self, right? So when it says I'm going to practice the holy instant with you, it's going to be when I'm really being my genuinely loving self with you. That means I'm being totally present with you. That's the time of Christ, is the time of presence, right? Then it says, for in this liberating instant. So what is the holy instant? A liberating instant. So I'm having a holy instant with you whenever I'm liberating me and you. What is the liberation? I'm liberating you from guilt. You're liberating me from guilt. We're having to liberate. How? Because if I'm a totally safe person and a totally loving person, then I'm supporting you letting go of your fear and your guilt. And that's liberating you and liberating me. Okay, how do you know when you're not getting ready to liberate and you're getting ready to imprison? You're PO'd. You're getting ready to say something out of anger, guilt, grievances, and upset. That's how you know you're not about to liberate anybody. Least of all you. So here's what it says. I want to get rid of some liberation with your butt right now. Sit down. I'm going to tell you what I need you to do. There will be no liberation of this evening. Because I'm about to limit myself through you. Thank you very much. That's what? I'm getting ready to limit myself through you right now by blaming you and projecting on you that you're the one that's responsible for the way that I'm feeling right now. So you just take it. For in this liberating instant, notice how the Course in Miracles is written. For in this liberating instant, no guilt is laid. Talking about getting laid. So in the holy instant, what is it? It's a liberating instant. What is a liberating instant? An instant in which no guilt is laid upon the child of God. So I'm liberating you by not trying to make you feel guilty. You're liberating me by not trying to make me feel guilty. That's liberation. See, I used to think liberation meant how much I liberate you to go out and do what you feel like you need to do every night. I'm liberating you to eat what you... No, the Course in Miracles is not talking about that level. It's talking about I'm liberating me if I am not putting guilt on me and guilt on you. Because you are me, I am you, so the guilt I put on you is the guilt I'm putting on me. If we're one. That's why we don't like being one. Because I want to think I can do stuff to you that I don't have to deal with. I don't want to feel your stomach ache. I'm glad we're separate. So don't think for a second now that there isn't a part of us that's completely turned on by being separate. Then I just feed me. I just take care of me. I'm not feeling your pain. See, don't think for a second that joining isn't more frightening to a part of us than separation is. Wow. Wow, let me just be with that for a minute. These damn communication devices, they always need something, don't they? chapstick, all kind of stuff. No end to the maintenance. No end to the maintenance. Is it? Whew. Goodness. Okay. All right. Notice that the book that people say is very difficult to read, I'm reading it to you and you understand every single thing I'm reading. It says the holy instant is the time of Christ. Okay, then you go, well, what's the holy instant? Well, it's a liberating instant. What happens in the liberating instant? There's no guilt laid on anybody. And how do you have your unlimited power restored to you? By laying no guilt on anybody. So if I really want to know my unlimited power, if I want to know the love that I am, if I want to know the truth about myself, every time I don't try to make anybody feel guilty, including myself, I'm actually getting in touch with my unlimited power to love. So how do I know my unlimited power? Stop trying to make people feel guilty. Stop trying to make people feel guilty. Stop trying to... How do I know I'm trying to make someone feel guilty? Anger is an attempt to make someone feel guilty. That is the purpose of anger, is to make someone feel guilty. So guilty that they'll do what you want them to do. Right? Tell the truth, you know. You come home late. I get angry. You feel so bad you don't come home late no more. So I believe guilt makes friends. Crazy, isn't it? But I can remember that so vividly that I thought if I let everybody know how much they was upsetting me, they'd love me more. And see, when I do that, you go, that's crazy. But we do it, though. I'm going to go off on you, and then you will really, really love me. That's how warped the guilty mind operates. And I used to be in relationships with people guilty enough to fall for it, which would reinforce that idea. Because I would get angry, and they'd go, okay, forgive me, I'm sorry, okay, what you want me to do? Okay. And then what did that teach me? Oh, if I just go off on you enough, I will get what I want. Whew! So some of you may be in relationships of some type where there's a lot of guilt, projection, and anger and arguments. You're going to have to do the hardest thing in the world. You're going to have to meet attack without attack. That's how you stop it. When they're going off, you don't respond. You absolutely do not. You just go mute.
Thank you.
As long as you're attacking me, I am not going to respond to you at all.
Thank you.
And you know what they're going to do? Escalate. Well, you do what I want you to do. You do what I want you to do. Do what I want you to do. Okay. All right. I'm going to have to use another approach here. They're not responding. Yeah. And at first, your temptation to get hooked and scream back is going to be supremely strong because at that point, neither one of y'all want to liberate each other. And you're certainly not having a time of Christ. You're having a time of crisis. That was pretty good. Let me that in my brilliant Earl quotes. Oh, God. I love this stuff. Why do I use my book? After I've been studying this for 40 years, certainly I don't need my book to teach the Course in Miracles, but I believe I'm more helpful as a teacher if I'm using the instrument that other people should be using on their own. Because a good teacher is trying to make themselves ultimately unnecessary. So therefore, there are going to be people who all are joining because we're celebrating, because we want to join. And then there's some people that are going to really need this. So we might be coming together just to reinforce the beliefs, which is cool, which is good. Because when you share a belief, it becomes stronger. The first thing your ego is going to tell you as soon as you're unhappy or upset is what? Separate, isolate, separate, isolate, separate, isolate. Just so when people are most upset is when they most will refuse to join. And somehow or another they think that's better. It's not. Unless you're using that time to meditate, study, and focus on the truth. But just to be alone and all you're doing is obsessing about what you're upset about alone is stupid. It's not helpful. Because your ego is going to always say, separate so I can get you by myself and really crucify your ass. So if you're going to do the separation thing, drown yourself in the truth. Put a tape on, put a video on, read a book. But don't do the I'm going to separate just to separate. It's not helping you. Okay? Then it says, how do you have your unlimited power restored to you? Well, the way you have your unlimited power restored to you is to lay no guilt upon yourself or anybody else. Well, what is that? Well, that's a liberating instant. Well, that's the time of Christ. That's the holy instant. Boom. Mic drop. Boom. Boom. You all right? I can't afford to drop this mic, but imagine it. Boom. So then the Course in Miracles says, what other gift can you offer me? What other gift can you offer me, right? When only this I choose to offer you. I'm offering you a liberating instance where I'm not trying to make you feel guilty. Please offer me a liberating instance where you're not trying to make me feel guilty. And to see me is to see me in everyone. To see you is to see you in everyone. To see me is to see me in everyone. See that? Then it says, oh man, I love this. I am as incapable of receiving sacrifice as God is. So I'm talking to you. You know what? I am incapable of receiving your sacrifice as love is. I'm going to tell you, I don't want you to sacrifice for me. Whenever I ask anybody to do anything for me, I always add in that if you don't experience it as any kind of a sacrifice, at the point you experience anything you're doing for me as a sacrifice, stop. Because sometimes in relationships, people will promise you the moon. And all they'll do is tell you what they want to do for you and how they want to please you and what they want to give you and blah, 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 blah. You know the dance, right? And then you'll do it. Oh, I love fixing you dinner. But then by the 10th dinner, you want to kill them if they say they want something to eat. Because at some point, it stopped being a gift and started being a sacrifice. And that's when you should have stopped fixing dinner. As soon as it became a sacrifice, you should have stopped. So that's my caveat with anybody I know. Yeah, you want to do this for me? Do you really want to do this? You sure you want to do this? Yes, I will receive it. But don't you do it a second pass when you don't feel cool about doing it anymore. Why? Because I don't need you to do it. So therefore, if you're doing it, do it out of joy. Because I'm not going to go crazy if you don't fix me dinner. I'll just go out to eat. You don't have to fix me dinner. You don't have to do anything for me. There are no body parts you have, that there are plenty of those body parts around for me to experience. Yours is not the only body part that's available either. It's not the only car. It's not the only house. It's not the only park. It's not the only cloud. Think about what I'm saying. There's nothing that you really receive that you can't receive from more than one person. Even though my specialist does not want to hear that. My specialist wants to hear, nobody could be as pleasing for you as me. And I am going to give you a unique experience that you can only have through me. That's the truth. That's why I don't have to defend my specialist. You won't meet another Earl Raj Purdy. You can go all over this world. You ain't going to meet an Earl Raj Purdy who can twerk too, you know. Well, that's Earl's twerk. That ain't regular twerk. That ain't the shade twerk. Okay, so that's a whole different thing. Okay. How do I know I'm in my true self right now? The joy that's coming through me from being with you and talking to you. I'm being myself right now. And you are too, every time you laugh. Thank you for letting me get glimpses of you. Because that's what's happening every time you're joyful. You're going, oh. Come on back with that one more time. You know, you see what I'm saying? But when I'm all down in the dumps and miserable and angry and upset, you're giving me your false self. You're giving me your false self. Love me so much that you won't give me your false self. And then it says it right here. It says, and to see me is to see me in everyone and offer everyone the gift you offer me. I am as incapable of receiving sacrifice as love is, which is God. And every sacrifice you ask of yourself is a sacrifice you're going to ask of me. So every time you demand sacrifice, every time you sacrifice, you're going to want me to sacrifice. If I gave up what I didn't want to do tonight, guess who I expect to give up what they don't want to do tomorrow night? See, if I make a sacrifice, you're going to have to make a sacrifice too. That's why I'm telling people. I know I sound all generous and good when I say, I would never ask you to make a sacrifice. Why? Because then I won't have to make one either. So I'm willing to admit that. I'm giving what I want to receive. Because I know that's how I have it. See, the Course in Miracles taught me how to really have what I want. And it's opposite to everything the false self, the voice inside of my head, and the ego taught me. Do it just the opposite of anything the world teaches you and you'll be happy. That's the secret of happiness. Don't believe any of the stuff the world tells you happiness is. The world tells you to try to be somebody, try to be nobody. You want to know the true meaning? You want to be happy, be nobody. And since most of us are pretty good at that anyway, happiness is available today. You're already not famous. You're already not known by most of the people on earth. You're in a beautiful position for happiness. Being nobody doesn't mean you're unpriceless and valuable. Being nobody means you don't have anything to prove. I don't have anything to prove. I enjoy teaching because I don't really care that much. Because I'm not going to be in denial. Sure, there's some part of me that would like to be whatever the world would call more successful as a teacher, but I'm trying to get rid of that part of me as fast as I can, as diligently as I can. Every day I don't know nothing about my happiness to depend on the approval of the world. I'm doing this because I love it. Because I'm beginning to see that the Holy Spirit, God, the universe will provide. So I don't have to come in the door with a get attitude. The only thing that's stopping you from doing what you were born to do and enjoying your life every day is you're afraid. You're afraid you won't be taken care of if you really were that musician or that singer or you started your own business or whatever you're trying to do. It's fear that's stopping you. It's a lack of faith that's stopping you. That's the only thing that's got you working a job you hate. You're scared. It's not a sin. It's just something we need to let go of. And the book teaches us how to let go of fear. That's the purpose of the course, is to teach you how to let go of fear. False evidence appearing real. So right now I'm letting all my fear come up. So I'm letting massive amount of fear come up in me. Fear going back to when I was a child. I've been having like incredibly intense nightmares. Repressed anger that I've held in for lifetimes are coming up in my dreams to be released. And I'm so glad. Because I wouldn't be willing to let that stuff come up unless I was at the point I didn't think I was it. And I'm also at the point I believe I am loved and supported in the process. See what I'm saying? Get rid of it. I look at it like a toothpaste tube. And right now I'm just squeezing all that crap out of me. So I wish some of y'all just let me call your mother every now and then. You know what I'm saying? Just to get rid of my stuff. You know what I'm saying? If any of y'all need to call me a son of a bitch, just do it. Just do it. Just knock yourself out. Knock yourself out. Get it out. Get it out. Because you will get to that point that you will be so full of love that when a person is releasing, you will be totally unaffected. Yeah. And you will let them call you anything under the sun that they need to say to get rid of whatever they're going through, because you're not buying into it at all. It's not true about me, so have at it. Yeah. And they'll get through and they go, whew, God, I need to call you that. I've been wanting to call you that for 6 months. It's okay. Just do it sooner next time. Just do it sooner next time. I'm making myself so mad at you right now because you don't never act out my scripts and you're not treating me like I want to be treated. It's okay. I'm giving you my full attention because I want to make sure you don't shoot me. You got all my attention right now. I'm not turning that back on you, buddy. You know, that's spiritual. But spiritual people go, no, I could never say that. I love everybody. Then, you know, who's that on top of the building picking people off? It's Darlene. I'm not talking about this Darlene. There's a lot of Darlenes. I'm not talking about this one. Okay, I could never be saying that one. I would never, not, no, of course not. You love everybody. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I love being around people I don't have to be in a certain way. God, it's hard being around people who expect you to be the same way all the time. God. As long as you think you're a human being, you're gonna run the gamut of emotions. So get rid of that stupid belief that you're on the spiritual path, so you're never gonna get angry. As long as you think you are human, you're going to have all levels of emotion and feeling. Read my lips. As long as you believe you are a body and separate, you're going to still get angry sometimes, still feel good sometimes. You're going to go through a wide range of emotions and feelings. So do not tell yourself that lie that you have to always feel the same way when you're not yet awakened, or you will delay your awakening. Hello?
Hello.
You hear me?
Yes.
Because I run across this all the time with people on the spiritual path where they think that they should never feel anything but peace all the time, no matter what. And then they get sick and they have accidents and they go through all kinds of crap because of all that repressed anger, guilt, and grievances coming out in all kinds of ways. And then they're like, I'm the nicest person in the world. Why do things never work out for me? You got a ton of repressed anger and guilt hiding under your smiley face. I'm telling you now. I'm telling you. This is the truth. And if you're hearing it right, you should be going, some pressure is being taken off me. And don't worry, if you ever need to be put down, attacked, there are a lot of people that'll do it. Look at your past relationships. You know it's possible. Yeah, just call them up. You got their number. Call them up. I need to feel like crap. That's why I called you. You know the people to call when you want to feel bad. You know exactly who to call when you want criticism. You know what I'm saying? And you know exactly who to call when you want support. And you can tell who you pick up the phone or text how you want to feel. You hurting and you call the one person that you know is going to judge you, you know you want to feel bad. If you find yourself avoiding the class and avoiding anywhere that you're going to get any kind of comfort or acceptance, you know you just want to feel bad. And if I love you, I'll let you. If I love you, I will let you. If I love you, I will let you. I'll honor you so much that if you want to stay in that mood, I will let you. If you have an alternative and you're refusing the alternative, I'm going to let you stay exactly where you are. And because I know you got the Holy Spirit, and no matter what you're going through, God is with you. And when you're ready to feel better, the universal laws will be ready to manifest themselves for you. Good deal, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a good deal. And then it says, learn now that sacrifice of any kind is nothing but a limitation imposed on giving. So if I say I'm going to sacrifice with you, I'm saying I want to put a limitation on my giving. I want to put a limitation on my giving. I want you to sacrifice. I want to sacrifice. That's an actual limitation on giving, because if I sacrifice, I'm going to feel resentment. If I feel resentment, I'm not going to want to do it. So sacrifice leads to resentment, which leads to a limitation on giving. See, the Course in Miracles says, you all are totally sane beings. You are capable of hearing sanity. That's what's freaking us out. It's sane. And we go, what? You know, like, he says we've learned insane lessons. We're not crazy. We've learned crazy things. So when someone tells us something like this that sounds sane, of course we go, yeah. We just don't ever hear it. We don't see it practiced on any kind of a regular basis. But when we hear it, we really can get it. Right? Because you are ready to get it. You've suffered enough. You are now so far on your spiritual path that you love yourself enough to want to accept love. That's why you're here. Because you are growing and improving and caring about yourself. You already are reborn. You already are going through a rebirth. You just recognizing the rebirth you've already had. You've been born thinking you're still up in the womb. It's like men. They spend, they come out of a woman's body and then they spend the rest of their life trying to get back up in there again. You know what I'm saying? So it's important to realize that the ones who've been born, you're out there now. You can't go back. You can't go back. Even if it was a real nice apartment and it was temperature control, food was coming in, you didn't have to do nothing. You just coasted along inside your mama's belly. And then the next thing you know, you're being squeezed through an opening. And then bam, you out here and it's cold. It's about back in the day, pop you on your butt and say, welcome to the world. And then, so what was your first experience of the world? Pain. So what did you get a core belief in? Pain. So what did you seek? What did you draw to yourself? Pain. Because that was the initial programming. Welcome to the world. Or you screaming and crying and just laying around, right? Peeing on yourself. And then you laying there. Because you still have consciousness and awareness. You're just in this little body that you can't operate yet. And you can't even talk to the people around you. If you were to go deep into your memory, you would realize you were enormously frustrated when you were first born. Because nobody, you couldn't talk. Nobody understood what you were trying to get them to see. And then you just kept that up. Nobody listens to me. Right? Then you get a relationship. What? Nobody, you don't listen to me. See, the programming. So now we need to do what? Give each other what we want to receive. Because right now, love can use this time, this season, to get us to celebrate and recognize the truth. So I can tell you how to stack the deck in your favor. Be around people you like. If this is all about appreciation and all about love, and the more I give it, the more I receive it, the more I give you attention, well, I'm going to stack the deck in my favor. I'm going to have friends I like being around. People I enjoy. See, my ego says, no, don't pay a lot of attention to the people that you really enjoy, who really appreciate you. Spend all your time working on the people you don't get along with. And spend all your time trying to figure out how to like them. Everybody familiar with that voice? Then you're ignoring the people that's saying, oh, you're beautiful, you're wonderful, you're awesome, I appreciate you. But that person who rejected you, that person who doesn't ever call you, that person that never seems to be, they get all your attention. See, and so it makes it harder to do the acceptance and the appreciation. It's a great ego trick. So then it really does become an effort for me to like you. And it really does become an effort for me to appreciate you. I stack the deck in my favor. My friends, my personal circle, they're going to have to be people I really feel safe and enjoy being around. And what happens when I feel so safe, I feel so loved, my inner circle is so beautiful, then when I do meet that part of myself that's a pain in the butt, they don't affect me. Because I'm a happy person. I do know where there's love located. You see what I mean? It's not complicated. This is not complicated. What's complicated is not practicing this. This isn't hard. It's not practicing this that's hard. That's why it's funny when I hear people go, the truth is so hard. I don't know if I can do it. It's so hard for me to study. You know, it's like saying, it's so hard for me to have happiness. You know, no, it's not. It's easy for me to appreciate you all. It's not hard for me to stand up here and go, God, I'm glad I see you all. Right? Right. Okay, that's all my life is full of. That's my life. That's my experience. Because it's never your experience that's making you unhappy. It's your interpretation of your experience that's making you unhappy. Every experience in your life, none of them have to make you unhappy. So I always think about that. When a person tells me they're unhappy about something, I'm going, oh, you're just really unhappy about the experience you're giving yourself of that. That's what you really, it's not that thing that's got you upset. It's your experience of money that's making you upset about money. It's the way you're allowing yourself to experience it in your life that's making it a miserable thing. It's not the money. There's plenty of money if you need paper strips and metal discs. There's lots of it out there. Lots of it. And you don't have to have good credit to be taken care of. I proved that to myself in the 90s. Right? I made a really big financial investment that fell through, that threw me into a financial crisis that wiped out my finances because I was doing too well. And I didn't think I deserved it. So I sabotaged it. It's so obvious to me now I sabotaged. But you know what I learned? I thought my credit rating was taking care of me. I learned I thought my credit cards were taking care of me. I learned I said I believed in God, but I really believed in my bank account. I said I believed in God, but I really believed in my job. See, a lot of people say they believe in God. They just crap about that. They don't believe in God. They believe in the channels that they're focusing on that's giving them their good. And then they're saying, I believe it's God. Let all that stuff be wiped away for a minute. And you'll find out real quick how much you believe in God. But because it has made me study the course more, the most incredible thing happened. I watched everything still be taken care of, everything still be provided, even though I didn't have any of the stuff that the world told me I had to have in order to be provided for. So what did that do? That allowed me to have a faith in God far beyond what I ever had when I had all those false ideas of security. Now that it's not the case, I can enjoy that, but I'm not fooling myself about it. So when I hear people telling me all the things they think they need to do in order to be happy or to be prosperity, have prosperity or have abundance, if I don't hear them saying God, I know that they're in for a really tough lesson one day. It is not your job taking care of you. It is not your bank account. It's not your credit cards. It's none of that stuff is what's taking care of you. And you'll find that out really quick, the ones that's not there. And you will create a situation sooner or later where it's not there if you don't wake up right now to the realization that you're sustained by the love of God. You don't have to go through crisis and tragedies to come to the realization of truth. You don't have to learn through pain. But suffering is good. Suffering is good. Yes, it is. It's good if it'll make you change your ways. But you don't have to go through suffering. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes people don't change till they suffer. And that's what I'm afraid about in terms of how we're setting it up with the climate change on this planet. Sooner or later, we'll get it that you need air. And sooner or later, you're going to get it. You're going to need animals and all the rest of the stuff that balances the earth. And don't come up with this just an illusion. That's a bunch of crap. Because if you thought this was an illusion, you wouldn't try to eat every day. You wouldn't try to clothe yourself every day. You wouldn't try to do none of the things you do. So I hate it when people go, that's an illusion. You're just talking crap. Because you're saying to me that's an illusion, but I just saw your butt eating 15 minutes ago. And if you thought it was an illusion, you wouldn't be doing none of that. What's an illusion is the way you're looking at it. The illusion is the false ideas you're having about this. When it says everything is an illusion, it's saying you got some false ideas that are causing you pain that you need to get rid of, and that you have help, and you will survive it all. You are unlimited. You are the child of God, so you will always survive. You will always exist. You will always be taken care of as a spiritual being. You're right. But do you know yourself as an unlimited spiritual being yet? No. You still see yourself as somebody that's going to have an Easter meal. So therefore, you need to take care of that level of your reality too. That's just common sense stuff. That's just, don't be a bliss ninny, as Ken Wapnick used to say. A lot of true students are bliss ninnies. They just, oh, it's all right. So, last sentence. And by this limitation, what limitation? The limitation imposed on giving, which is sacrifice. You have limited the acceptance of the gift I offer you. So you won't receive what I have to offer you unless you stop sacrificing and limiting the gifts that you allow yourself to receive. So nobody who's trying to make you feel guilty is your friend. If you want to separate out who your friends are, who's the friend that's always trying to make you didn't come over, or you broke a date, or you changed your mind, and they just putting the guilt on top of the guilt on top of it. That ain't your friend.
Thank you.
That is not your friend. The only reason why you're putting up that with that, if you're putting up with that, is because you do the same thing. That's it. Because you also want to be able to make them feel guilty if they don't do what you want them to do. So therefore, it makes sense to you if they're putting guilt on you. And you don't have to go, you're not going to make me feel guilty. You don't have to do any of that. You just realize that that's not love, and then you just choose how you want to deal with them. I love it. This book has made it so easy for me to tell when I'm limiting myself and when I'm hurting myself and when I'm in the presence of love and when I'm not. That I thank God every day for the truth and the Course in Miracles. But just that one thing, I know now how to tell when I'm loved and giving love and when I'm not. And that was where all of my mistakes and pain came from, not knowing the difference between the two. And that's the rebirth. Thanks for listening to this much Holy Spirit. Easter, rebirth. Woo! So, it's okay to be sincere, but don't be serious. Right? Right? So thank you for sharing with me, those of you all who would like to make a financial expression of appreciation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And those of you online, my mighty companions online, thank you for being here today. I had a great and powerful, loving time in England. It was a time of really, really, really a time of getting a lot of inner healing and downloads for myself, which you will see the result of over the next few weeks and months. Yeah, absolutely. So go to earlpurdy.com, earlpurdy.com, earlpurdy.com if you want to make a financial expression of appreciation online. I'm also available for one-on-one personal sessions if you're really ready to get past your blocks. You're really ready to deal with it. You're really ready to let it go. Let me bring 40 years of working with people into our experience. It's called a clarity session. Go to my website. It explains it in detail, and you can even book an opportunity to do that. I would encourage you to make that investment in yourself. I really would. I really would. You don't have an original problem. I know you're special. I know you like to think your issue is the issue. But I swear, it's not. It's either going to be money, or it's going to be relationships, or it's going to be job and career, or it's going to be spirituality, right? Power, money, fame, physical pleasure, and then maybe a spiritual issue. But most of it is, I don't like what I'm doing. I don't feel fulfilled in my job and my work. That's because you're not fulfilling your function, and I can be an instrument to answer all those questions. It's not a big mystery. You came here with a roadmap for what you intended to do. If you're not happy, you're not doing what you came here to do. And if you do, you will be provided for. You will be, not just, you just barely making it. You will be provided for when you're being true to yourself. We need you. We all need you to do what you came here to do, and that wasn't to try to be a Kardashian. They're being Kardashians. They're doing the heck out of it. And they're showing you that that was their function. So I'm not a hater at all. You just, no. Kim, you doing it, girl. You know, and I'm doing it.
Yes, you are.
I am. And you are doing it. And you can get help knowing how to do that and get rid of the blocks to doing that. It's available. So check out my website. See what I do. If I can help you, I'm willing to do that. So, sign up for my website so that when I'm doing these things that I'm going to be doing, then you will be contacted. Also, sign up here so that you'll know what's going on. Because I feel like a lot of you reached your limit, just like I have. And you are really ready for change. Some of you are not. It takes a little bit more. But what's so great, though, the Course says there's a limit to pain. And everybody reaches their limit. Some people just have more tolerance than others. It's amazing how much tolerance for pain some people have. It trips me out. It's like, my God, what does it take to get you off your butt for yourself? Right? I am as love created me. I am as love created me. I am as love created me. I am as love created me right now. Right now. I love you. I appreciate you. Hugs are available. They're there. Let's give it up to each other. Woo! Mighty companions online. Appreciate y'all. So, Facebook Live, go to the Earl Purdy page on Facebook.